the RV lifestyle. When I was first looking into it, I said, wow, here is an affordable solution to housing, a cheaper way to live, cut down your housing cost, have a home on wheels, live an adventurous life, and not be tied down to the conforming type of housing. Even today, after several years of research and living the RV lifestyle, I still get excited when I see a cute RV. It's just like, here's a little home on wheels. What could be better? Well, like many things in life, there's the illusion and there's the reality. And there is some bad parts, some parts that feel like there's a reason that the RV lifestyle doesn't solve housing. During one of the natural disasters in America, Hurricane Katrina, several years ago in New Orleans, the government, in a solution to try to find cheaper housing until they can rebuild certain parts of that area, they gave people trailers, travel trailers, module homes, RVs basically, to live out of as a temporary solution. But after a few weeks and months, a certain percentage of the people became very sick. And what they found in these trailers, these RVs, was there was higher levels of formaldehyde, which is a chemical toxin that was released from the cheaper materials used to build these trailers, and it was causing people to get sick. Formaldehyde, which is still used today in many RVs, even if the RV is expensive, even if the RV looks beautiful. And I've been in just about all of them over the course of the past couple of years. There's sometimes a light new smell. It's not a bad smell. And sometimes there's no smell. But after several weeks of living in one, you can develop asthma symptoms, get sick, headaches, etc. And that's a real thing. For a certain percentage of people, a certain percentage of people are not affected by it. But for those who are, it's a real thing. It was a real thing during Katrina. It's a real thing now. So the number one way the RV life could be a scam is nothing is worth your health. Now, certainly you can get sick from a moldy house, a crappy condo, etc., right? So, you can't just say a conforming house is the solution. But you need to be aware, okay? Not scared, but aware that RVs are built at a lower quality than a house or condo. However, I really didn't care as far as cosmetics, the cabinets fall off or the air conditioner goes or what. But you don't want to get sick from your home. But again, to be fair, you can get sick from a regular house, right? So it's something that you have to consider. The off-gassing, they call it, of RVs. And that's why in some regards you're better off, which I didn't think for years. I thought the opposite. I think you're better off building your own van, per se, getting a regular van, putting your own materials in it, where the materials you put in it, and it's higher quality, because the flooring and the glues, that is the chemicals, and sometimes the pressed plywood, the cabinetry. So that's number one, all right? Because you got to start with your health, right? People always think, well, it's a depreciating asset. Yeah, that's part of it. Okay, we're going to get into that next, right? But again, I want to be fair, because I know there's a lot of RV haters out there. They watch RV videos, they live in their house, in their apartment, they hate RVs, they hate nomads. But I want to tell you guys, I've lived all the different lifestyles. There's no perfect answer. Because if you have a regular house, again, you can have problems with the sheetrock. You can have liquid lumberdators or whatever. A flooring company had chemicals in their flooring. You had the Chinese sheetrock problem. You have mold in houses. If you have a house, you're going to have higher insurance, especially like in Florida. You're not going to have as many amenities. You're not on wheels. Same thing with condos. You're living on top of people. You just have a sheetrock wall in between you. So there's no perfect life. Don't be a hater. Just be aware of the fraudulent life of all lifestyles. So we'll talk about now the depreciation versus the appreciation, right? Most RVs depreciate, meaning if you buy an RV, you're pretty much buying it at the peak. Now we know with COVID, okay, that was an exception, and RVs went up, even used ones, during that period because there was a low supply, they weren't being produced, and there was a high demand because people couldn't travel abroad. That has now dissipated, and things have balanced out. Okay. And RVs are just vehicles, and even regular vehicles now are expensive. Okay. And I look at that like different options, even now. Really, a cheap car is not a reality for most cars that you look at. Most cars are over 30, 40,000, and most people cannot afford them. Even me, I look at that, man, like that'd be tight. If you want to live below your means, if you want to be financially independent and be more free. Certainly, you could just live off payments, which I've done in life, but then, it's like, I don't care what lifestyle you live, that's not a freeing lifestyle. You have to be a little disciplined. And so vehicles, let alone RVs, are way over 30,000 for the average vehicle. And RVs, same thing. Certainly, you can get a cheaper travel trailer, right? But then you need a tow vehicle, and then you have more gas, and then you still need a place to park it. Okay. You're definitely going to need a place to park if you have a trailer. If you have a van or a vehicle, you could do the stealth camping, which I have the experience of doing. But eventually, if you stay in the same areas, there's an issue there, and you're always moving. But either way, back to the value. So you're going to invest a certain amount of money in this vehicle, and vehicles are pricey, whether regular vehicle, RV, and it's overall going to go down in value. A home, a house, condo, single family home, etc., if you own it, over time will go up in value. Not every year, it's going to go up and down, but over a 10, 20-year period, you're at least on most situations, factually proven throughout the data that we have throughout modern history, in a first world country, if you own a house for 10, 20 years, not 1 year, 2 year, 10, 20 years over time, you're at least, when you sell it, going to get all the money back that you put into it. You got to live somewhere, so, when you rent or when you pay for lot rent or campground fees or extra gas for stealth camping or travel, you're never getting that back. But when you own property, if you hold it for 10, 20 years, then when you sell it, all the money you put into it pretty much you'll get back, okay? And as you get older in life, that pays off. When you're younger and going through the middle, it doesn't feel like a payoff. It feels like, you're giving everything to your home. But as you get older, that's when you want to be able to cash out, because that's when you're getting ready to cash out of life. Average life expectancy 80. So by the time you're 60 or 70, you want to have a paid off home, whether you're going to sell it and then use that cash profit to downsize, buy something smaller, or just live off the proceeds, cash out, and then rent for the rest of your life because you're going to have enough money to live off that, or take a reverse mortgage, etc. But if you get to your 60s and 70s and you don't have that, then it could be tough because rent's expensive, you're not going to want to move as much, etc. So that's the value of appreciation of a house. The depreciation of an RV, again, you could eat that depreciation if you're really being careful and living below your means. If you're planning for your elderly years and you're making so that you don't get caught in this fraud lifestyle, like you don't want to retire when you're 30, not really work, not have Social Security, not have home equity, then get to your 60s and 70s and just have this 20-year-old RV with not enough gas money to tow it, not enough money to pay lot rent, and it's falling apart in bad air quality. So that's a negative, okay? The depreciation versus appreciation over time. So we have poor quality build overall, poor air quality, could be poisonous, could be depreciating in value. Now, the positive is it's on wheels. The negative is it's on wheels. What does that mean? Well, again, the positive is if you don't like an area, you can move. The negative is, which I've learned through my experiences, after you travel for 2 to 5 years, you want to spend most of your time in certain areas because the climate and the culture speak to your personality. So really, having it on wheels doesn't benefit you because you still need a place to park it. Okay? And it's okay at truck stops, at parking lots for a period of time, but after 5 years or so, it's a dead-end road. Okay? It's good. Wheels are good for exploration. They're bad for stability long term. So again, short term, wheels are fun. Long term, it could get negative because you still need a place to park it. Okay? Wheel estate, okay, is valuable when you're moving the wheels. When you're not moving the wheels, you're loitering. Okay, you're trespassing. And, I know the argument is go in the middle of nowhere. For me, the middle of nowhere is not somewhere where I want to be. I want to be by the beach. Maybe you want to be in the middle of nowhere. So there's always that fraudulent thing, like wheels are going to get you somewhere. But then where do you want to stay? Okay. Because do you want to just keep going somewhere or do you want to stay somewhere? And over 5 years, you kind of, you at least want to spend the majority of your time in certain areas, and that could become an issue. All that being said, right, giving you some negatives here and trying to give you some positives. Because again, home insurance, maintenance, you still gonna have neighbors, and you're not gonna, to afford a regular house or condo. Those things are tough in a nice area. But there's no easy answer. Regular house, condo, or RV, there's no easy answer. I still get excited about RVs, but even like when I first looked out, that's why I stayed in the current car I have. That's why I bought property before I bought an RV. And that's why even now, like looking at different things, there's just not an easy answer. Okay? And that's the truth. Okay? Really, the best answer is keep a job because your income is your freedom. Then keep your health because your health is your freedom. Don't live in a trailer that's unhealthy. Your current car that you have paid off is your best option, and try to find some property that's affordable in the area you want to live that you have some options with. But, I haven't fully figured it out. I really thought, I really thought property where you could park an RV is the win. But some of these RVs, the air quality is poor. And that's a negative for me. I mean, I'm sensitive to it. So, those are just some things I want to share with you in this video. There's more, but those are some basic things that are through my experience. Not through my theory, through my experience. And I hope they help. If they do, click the thumbs up, share the video, subscribe if you're not, and thank you for watching.